entertain the family, but he's a jack of all trades, and we're going to bring some health information to you. If we could, while you're still vending, let's try to give them some respect and try to let the people that aren't trying to listen.
I don't think they heard.
Hello!
There you go.
Peace. Now you hear me now. My bad. This is my brother. Let me say it again. DoMo. The jack of all trades. You know him for playing the steel man. But I said the jack of how many trades? All trades. So we're going to bring him up. We're going to bring some health information. And by that time, hopefully y'all will stop letting him take pictures and we'll bring up Chief Ali.
Peace, family. What's going on? So, for those who don't know me, my name is DoMo, jack of all trades. And yeah, so the reason why I call myself a jack of all trades is I do many things. So, I'm an educator. I teach health and nutrition. I also teach dance because I'm a dancer. I'm a musician, as you can see. You see me over there playing the steel pan, but I'm also a songwriter, a vocalist, band director, and a lot of different other things. But I'm also going to be up here speaking to you guys about health because I'm a naturopath as well. Right? So, when it guys on the outskirts, if y'all could just quiet down just a little bit, because I could be very loud too, but you know, so I'm not sounding like I'm yelling, even though I always do yell. So thanks for working with me, guys. All right, so yes, we're here to talk about health and wellness, guys. Listen, you are what you eat. This is one of the first quotes that actually got me all into this thing, because 4 years ago, back in March, I was watching a whole bunch of videos on YouTube. Yes, Dr. Sebi was one of them, Dr. Africa, and so was Dr. Ali Muhammad, right? And a lot of different other naturopaths. But the point is that when I heard those words and I started to look at what I was actually putting in my temple, because everybody in here, all of you guys in this room, right? You guys are all vessels, right? And you have a soul or an essence in that vessel of yours, right? And you have to feed that vessel, your temple, right? So whatever you put into you, that is what you are. So at that time, I started to really look back at what I was actually putting in my body. And hopefully you guys are listening right now and thinking about the same thing. What do you put in your body? Because all of your new blood cells actually are made inside of your gut, right? So whatever you are putting inside of your body, that is going to your bloodstream, and that is what you are of. That's what you are made of. So if you're eating Cheetos, Pop-Tarts, you know, all of the things that have, you know, the high fructose corn syrup and, you know, all of the different GMOs and things of that nature, those things are converted and go into your blood. And that is what you're going to be made up of. So that's very important. So when I started thinking of those things and seeing what I was actually putting in my body, I had to change. I literally had to be like, you know what? I'm stopping everything right now. So let me just give you a bit of my journey, right? So 4 years ago, back then, I saw those things happening. And what I did was I did a dry fast. Does anybody here know what a dry fast is? What's a dry fast? Nothing. Yes. Nothing. Right? So that first day, I didn't eat anything. I didn't put no water in my temple. I didn't put nothing. I just knew I had it to cleanse, right? Then after that, I was on the 1 meal a day regimen. And I actually did that, you know, for anybody that does know me, I did that for 2 years. I was eating 1 meal a day. And that is basically called intermittent fasting. Does anybody know what intermittent fasting is? What's intermittent fasting? Break. Oh, okay, good. So it's funny she said that because I was just about to go into that too, right? So yes, intermittent fasting. So let's just say you stop eating your last meal at 8 p.m., right? And you don't eat until the sun comes up. I mean, sorry, not the sun comes up, but actually when the sun is at its highest peak at 12, that's 16 hours. You just basically fasted. And when you put the first meal in your body, that is when you are breaking your fast. Hence the reason why they call your first meal breakfast, right? So that's going into the style of circadian rhythm and eating with those with those cycles because, you have the elimination cycle, which happens between 4 a.m. and 12 p.m., right? So that is when your body is trying to get waste out. So you should be waking up in the morning, having your bowel movements, going to the bathroom. You having coals in your eye. You have plaque on your tongue. You have morning breath. Women, you can wake up wet. Men, we wake up with a hard on. Sorry for the children. But the point is that your body naturally shows you these signs of a detox, or your body's cleansing in the morning. This is the reason why they call it the elimination cycle. So you wake up in the morning, and this is why breakfast or breakfast, eating in the morning wouldn't be the best thing to do because your body is on a natural cycle to get the waste out. So when you're putting waste back in, you're basically confusing the cycle, right? And then you have the elimination period, which is between 12 p.m. and then 8 p.m. Right? So that period is basically when you're active. You're outside, you're moving. Right now, you see we're doing a lot of different things. You gotta be active. You're being active to help your metabolism speed up, right? And your metabolism is gonna be activated, especially when the sun is out. Serotonin is in the atmosphere, so that's gonna help you digest food as well. And this is the reason why they say you should be eating your meals between those times, 12 p.m. and 8 p.m. Right? That's going to be whether or not your biggest meal, right? You should be eating your biggest meal between those hours. And then you have your appropriation period, right? So this is the period where your body is assimilating, this is an assimilation period, right? So your body is assimilating all the nutrients that you ate during that elimination period. Basically between 12 p.m. and 8 p.m. When you're eating all those things, after 8 p.m., this is when your body is going to attempt to absorb all those things, right? And get ready for the elimination cycle, which happens at 4 a.m. So your body is on a rhythm, your body is on a cycle, right? Just like Ali yesterday spoke to you about the respiration cycle. You see his videos, he speaks about the uric acid cycle, all these, there's a citric acid cycle, all these things are cycles. So the point is that your body is on one of those things, and sometimes you can throw those things off, right? So that's why fasting is very important. So that's why I implemented it, because I knew that at the time, I needed to detox. I needed to get waste out of my body. And the truth of the matter is that a lot of people, even in this room, need to do those things, right? And it's not a bad thing. It's about, everybody's on their own levels, they're on their own trajectory to actually accomplishing those things. But the point is that we want to make sure we get there, or even try to get there. We want to start implementing these things. A lot of people speak about it, and they say, yeah, I know this is bad for me. I know the chicken, I know the dairy, I've been trying, you say you know better, that's what I say, you know better, you do better, right? So, you know better, you would act on those things. And then the action speaks out of their words, right? So you want to implement, and then when you implement, you get experience. From that experience, you can then become an expert at what you're doing, because experience is one of the best teachers, right? So remember that. And so now we're also, right now, dealing with the COVID-19, the pandemic, the pandemic, which people call it, right? So there's also a virus out there, quote unquote, that's attacking our respiratory system, right? And what I want to plan you guys today, or have you guys just think about, is, all right, I'm gonna say it, because I'm a Scorpio. Sometimes I see things that sting, but it is what it is. The point is that, okay, guys, Ali also just speak about this yesterday. When we wear a mask for a respiratory issue, right? We gotta understand. Let's basic common sense. It's not gonna be, big words and things of that nature, right? You breathe in what? What do you breathe in? Oxygen, and you breathe out carbon dioxide, right? So, with a mask or anything, bandana, is covering your face, and you are constantly going to be recycling excreted air. So, think about that, common sense, right? I'm speaking and breathing right now. I have things coming out of my mouth right now, but if I have that mask on, all of this air that is trying to get out of the body, well, not air, carbon dioxide actually, this gas form, is trying to get out, it's staying here, right? And now I'm breathing it through my nose as well as through my mouth because it's stuck right in this area. Now this is a waste product. The body is trying to get it out, but it's stuck in this area. So with that being said, it's automatically going to increase your CO2 levels and it's going to decrease your oxygen levels. And oxygen is actually one of the things that we all need. You can't fast from oxygen. If you were to fast for about 5 minutes, you probably wouldn't be here from oxygen. That's something that all of your cells need. We can fast from water, we can fast from food for a couple of days, couple of months, but we all need oxygen. So that's very important. So we're not really getting a lot of that oxygen when we are wearing the mask. Common sense, not, biochemistry and all this common sense. If you're covering your mouth, right, you're going to increase the CO levels. And then we also said, what feeds feeds off of the CO, right? You got the parasites, the yeast, the fungi, all these different pathogens, because those are the waste products that is trying to get out of the system, but you're keeping it in the system, so it's going to raise that up in the body. So we want to be mindful of all of those things. Because also, when you think about the immune system, if you were to Google a video on Immunology 101, right, you would see that everybody in this room is a walking germ. You all are, the point is that we all are bacteria or forms of it, right? This is another reason why children also, while they're young and they're growing up, their immune system is building up. That's why they're always touching things on the floor. So, if you're always going to be using antibacterial soap, you're actually killing off good bacteria that's actually on your skin to actually help your immune system get stronger, because your immune system, if it's always fighting things, is going to be there ready to attack any type of pathogen that enters the cell or tries to enter the cell. But if you're killing those bacteria off, then your immune system will be compromised. Your immune system will be suppressed because it's not working, it's not active, right? So we are supposed to be actually touching doorknobs. We are social people. We are supposed to be around each other and building and growing like we are doing right now. But what this pandemic is doing or is causing people to do is to distance from each other. Is to not commune, right? Is to lower your oxygen levels, to make you feel sick, right? And then also, if you are thinking those things, everything starts as a thought, and all is mental. So if you're thinking and you're watching the news, and the news is instilling fear into you and all of that, then those things can manifest in you physically. That's very important. So there's a lot of key things when it comes down to what we are dealing with as a people, right? So, let's tone it down just a little bit. Y'all will do it real good, but it's not getting a little louder. Can we just tone it down just a little bit, please? Yes. So, coronavirus, yeah, family. So, if you do choose to wear a mask, or if you do choose to constantly wear gloves, if you're in your car wearing your mask or wearing gloves and things of that nature, just know that you can look all of this stuff up. Don't take anything I'm saying for face value. Look everything up that I'm saying. But the point is that you will be lowering you will be suppressing your immune system. Your immune system gets stronger actually when it actually has more bacteria to fight off. Immunology 101. Just look it up. So when you're actually not touching these things, you're going to be weakening your immune system. And tying this all back into nutrition. Guys, you are what you eat. So another thing, listen, you are at the Shinamaru Aboriginal Summit 2020, right? Give it up for yourselves for being here, y'all. Yeah, give it up. So a lot of the things that we pitch inside this nation is about self-sustainability. Let me ask the crowd a question. How many people in here produce or grow their own food by hands? Okay? I don't see as much hands as I think I should be seeing, especially with you guys being in here, and I'm pretty sure you understand the frequency of the room and things of that nature, but it's all about self-sustainability in a sense. We don't want to be relying on somebody else or the governments that be or the powers that be to actually feed us or to treat us. Same thing when it comes to education. I'm not sure if you guys know, some of you guys may do know, I actually run a homeschool up in New York City, but we're also international. We have students in Ghana, we have students in Atlanta, we're all domestic and international. We've been running for the last 2 years, we're going on our 3rd year. We almost got enrolled 300 students, you know, so y'all speak about Umar Johnson, now you need to be speaking about what we got going on, the Zion Institute, you know what I'm saying? So, we're educating our black babies, we're educating our students. You know what I'm saying, on health and nutrition, on STEM, on engineering, mathematics, and the whole nine. We actually had 2 students graduate last year. They'll be going to college. So the point is that we can do it. We can do it for ourselves. So we're educating, and also me and my wife, we have our business, Balance Healing. We also got married here last year, so you already know. Yeah, so, yeah, give it up, man. We got married here last year. So, we also growing food up north too. So we're doing it up north in New York City, where we don't get a lot of the photons and the light codes from the sun like you do down here. But we're doing it. We're growing jalapeno, we're growing cantaloupe, we got onions, you know what I'm saying? We got peppers, things of that nature, mustard greens, lettuce. You know, we're growing our own food and producing for ourselves. And we're doing that to make sure that, let's just say with this pandemic, they do cut off the lights, they do cut off, we're in New York City, so we're literally, you know, it's bridges and tunnels. If they cut the bridges and tunnels off, no food is being coming in. Or if they cut, you know, the Walmart and all the grocery stores, what are people gonna do? That's gonna instill fear in people as well, right? And all that stuff ties back into your health. Because let's just say you weren't dependent on them and you were able to filter your own water or know how to filter your own water, right? Because you should always have water. Water is going to be the most imperative thing you should have besides food and oxygen, right? Water is going to be used for everything. Another thing, how many people in here actually know how to start their own fire? I see more hands of people doing that without the food, which is cool, but you know, that's good, right? Because a lot of people don't know those things. And you know, when we teach in honor, you know, the 4 elements, right? You got air, fire, earth, water. There we go, right? So these are the things that is needed and essential for our bodies, right? And all those things exist inside of us. When you're working out, or you're sweating, you're moving, whatever you're doing, you're gonna have that fire inside of you, then you start to sweat. And that also produces water. Your body is 80 to 90% water. Your body is hydrophilic, right? You fill up all of these different fluids, all of these different fluids. The point is that you got all these different fluids inside of your body. Your body is 80 to 90% water, right? You're breathing oxygen. You breathe in oxygen, you breathe out carbon dioxide. But that air, that gas form, is also needed inside of you. And you are of the earth. You are a carbonated being, melanated being. You know, you got the melanocytes, melanotropic peptides, all running through your system. All, you know, so that is, and we are of the earth, and we eat of the earth. So all of those 4 elements exist inside of us. Right? And they're very strong too. That goes to show you, especially being the black man, the Aboriginal, the African, however you want to identify, that force or that power is inside of every one of you here. All of us in here, right? Look how strong the winds inside a tropical storm, blowing down trees. Look how strong a tsunami can be. You know what I mean? Biting down things. Fire, or a volcano, like all of it. You know what I mean? The earth, earthquakes. All those forces of energy from nature exist inside of us, right? So the point is that we can have those traits, you know what I mean, when needed to and when need be. But it all comes down to nutrition if you're actually doing those things. So if you're eating of nature, right? That's why I don't like to identify as a vegan, because I'm not sure if all of you guys know. They've been basically, you know, plotting, and you know, that's why they have the Impossible Burgers and all these things inside of the fast food restaurants now, right? Because being vegan is now a fad. Everybody wants to be vegan. Eating healthy is cool now. You know what I'm saying? But they play on that, and they use, you know, people with power, people with money to catch the people that's actually just jumping on it, or they feel the drive to want to do it. Or they're just following other people because they're doing it. But the point is that they know that people are not doing their research or their due diligence. They're just eating it because it says natural, organic, it says vegan, and they just put it in their body, right? And so what I said earlier, before I even started talking, there's levels to it, right? So I would prefer somebody to, you know, if you wanted to eat, like, you know, a banana without seeds, you know, because it might be GMO, or you want to eat a watermelon without seeds versus McDonald's. That's cool, but when you get to the next level, you want seeds in there, right? You know, so with that being said, it's levels to it. Everybody's gonna grow on their own time and their own pace, right? But we are here to lead by example. You know, all of the health masters, all of the law masters. You can also remember, we got scans over here. I have one over here. You can get scanned over there. You can actually test and see if you're people with the mask on, right? You can test and see your O2 levels and see how high they are, and then you can see the CO levels, right? CO2 levels. You can do that and then just see it, right? And then you can compare it to somebody that has to have a mask on, right? Or you can go to any pharmacy and get an O2 meter, put it on your finger, and then look at your O2 levels. Like the sister with the water said earlier, you know, Ali instilled in us about, you know, testing and making sure we can prove what we're talking about. So that's why we're doing all of these different tests and experiments, because through those experiments, we're doing it over and over and over again. And if you're seeing the same result, then you can come to your conclusion. After you come to your conclusion, now you can then say you're an expert at this because you've seen it so many times. Same thing if you're fasting and you're watching what's going on in your body, because every one of you are different. Every one of you have your own genetic predisposition. Every one of you have your own different blood types. Speaking of blood types, I have blood testing kits over there. Like I said, we talk about tests. So if you know if you're O, A, B, B, this is very important because that basically designates you and your genetic codes and what's going on inside of you. Because every one of us are, you know, we have our own, you know, even when you look, nothing is actually identical. The point is that you have your own essence, you have your own being, you have your own body, you have your own blood type. So what somebody may prescribe for you, that I can't necessarily prescribe that for a brother, your sister, or somebody that looks just like you. You know, they have their own encodings, right? And you all should know those things of yourself and master yourself, because at least they said this yesterday. You are the God of your own affairs. You are the God of yourself, right? You are the God of your universe. So what goes into your universe, and it doesn't have to just be physical, it can be mental too. It can be your friends, the people you hang around, toxic beings, right? And then you make excuses and try to justify the reason for them being in there. The same way people justify them putting bad foods in them. There's no difference. So the point is that, you know, then you need to start checking yourself. Like, oh wait, I'm allowing these things to happen. I'm allowing these things to manifest into my reality, because you are the God of your own universe. You are the God of your own affairs, and that's very important. So, with that being said, I also want you guys to, when it comes down to health, right? Eating to live. We have watermelon juice over there. You know, Ali's gonna have some more food here. I encourage people to really start thinking about what they're putting in their temples and what they're putting in their bodies, right? Because like Ali did say this yesterday, we can look at certain people, right? We can look at a being, you can talk to somebody. Because you can say, you see somebody say, oh yeah, I've been vegan for 30 years, right? And then you can look at them, or you can hear them talk, you can hear certain things, and you can kind of see the vibration of the person, right? And the point is that, not to bring anybody down or talk negative on anybody, but we want to lead by example. We want to make sure people are, you know, seeing somebody do something and producing those results as well, right? So being vegan is, like I said, it's a fad now. Everybody just wants to say they're healthy, right? But how many people actually work out? How many people are actually, you know what I mean, eating the proper things, eating in the right times or whatnot, right? There's a lot of things when it comes to health. And health does not just involve nutrition. Your hygiene. Some people eat, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of things that people don't really cover when it comes to health. Your mental health, right? That's important because all is mental. Everything starts here. Everything starts here. This could not have been created if the creator did not see this in their mind first. Period. So it had to start here first, and then he had to get the tools to create this thing. Same thing with our ancestors building the pyramids. Same thing with our ancestors building everything that we built till now. Right? It all started here. Right? But guess what else started there too? When you have those negative thoughts about you getting sick, you having the coronavirus. Every time you actually think you're sick, you should think that your body is responding to something in there. You're like, no, I'm not sick. My body just got something in there trying to get it out. If you had that frequency every time, you wouldn't feel like some of these other people do feel. It's your thoughts. It's your energy. It's what you put out. My wife loves to say, energy goes where energy flows. Have you ever heard that before? Energy goes where energy flows. So if you're flowing that energy into a negative direction, that's what you're going to attract to you. Law of attraction, guys. Right? So there's a lot of different things that we as a people need to start implementing and showcasing it for the future. You know, I have my son over there. He's doing a lot of work. Can we give my son a round of applause? It's his first summer, man. Yeah. Shout out to you, man. Good work. So, you know, and I also see a lot of parents in here. I heard assistants say, like, ooh, I came to the summit, and I was talking to people in the tribe. It's like, everybody's married. I'm like, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. Right? Because we're actually building family. We're building the tribe. We're building the nation. Right? A lot of children here, too. So we're producing. We're growing. You know what I mean? That's what we're here to do, to reproduce. Right? So that's important, so that we're bringing in new children, we're leading by example for those children, because they are our future. They are going to grow up, and we got to pass the baton or the mantle to them, so they can actually continue what we actually already started. Because guess what? Like Elijah Muhammad is not going to be here forever. He's not here forever. Just like Dr. Ali, he's not going to be here forever. Right? I'm not going to be here forever. But guess what? We reincarnate. We are able to pass this information down to our young guys and young goddesses, so they can continue to pass it on, and so on and so forth. That's how the cycle continues. So this is another, bringing it back to cycle. It's a cycle, guys. You know, it's not linear. It's going around. It's not linear. It's going around. Right? So I want to. Does anybody have any questions? Any Q&A? Any quick Q&A?
Thank you. And then you said green and black.
It's not alkaline in any way. We don't understand what that means. Your alkalinity or pH in the body. And I'm a holistic practitioner, by the way, so I see a lot of this clients, they end up sick thinking they're doing the right thing and they don't understand why. But your pH is a measure of the amount of minerals that you have in your body.
Absolutely.
$20 for the large.
And then that was 12? Okay. And you got change?
How we're built. The body was designed for raw food. But we're eating mostly cooked food. We gotta start somewhere.
Appreciate you.
Instead of grabbing these snacks and processed food, go back to eating fruit. Because the other thing, like you were mentioning, and Dr. Ali talks about as well, even if you go into Whole Foods, buying what you think is organic food, it has no minerals in it. Because organic only indicates it means that the FDA is allowing them to label it as organic. And they don't use pesticides. They're still growing it with NPK, which is a synthetic fertilizer. It binds to the minerals that's in the
The big one's 20 and the small one's 12. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, after you eat whatever you eat, your body has to maintain a pH, a blood pH, between 7.5 and 7.5 or you'll die. So if you don't have enough of those minerals in your soft tissue reserve, your body will produce minerals out of your bones. The body is built to where it's going to do whatever it has to do to keep you alive. We don't understand that part of it. If it's producing cholesterol, you don't go to the doctor and get a anti-cholesterol drug because it's trying to shoot cholesterol and trying to patch up the arteries that you have. So you have to correct the problem at the root. So I say all that to say, getting knowing what your pH is, you test it, and you test it through your urine because the only thing your blood is going to tell you is that you're still alive. It's 7.35 to 7.45. And when you test your urine, you can go and get a roll of pH paper, pass it through your urine, and first thing in the morning. And there's a color chart in it, it's going to give you a reading. It starts at 5.5, which is acidic, which is what you don't want. And it goes all the way up to 8.0, which is alkaline. So in order to raise your alkalinity, you have to intake minerals. So each tenth of a percentage goes from 5.5, 5.6, 5.7. Each tenth of an increase, there's a tenfold increase in your tissue oxygen, which is very important because there's only one disease, which is malfunctioning cells. And they're either malfunctioning because they're nutritionally deficient or they're overtoxic. So when you increase your tissue oxygen, then it makes your body not susceptible to growing cancer cells. See what I'm saying? Cancer cells need oxygen. So that's very important. Like you say, what we put into our bodies, the last thing I always take too much time. Our vitamin D3 levels are critical. We come out of the winter months already D3 deficient unless you're supplementing. So if you live 37 degrees above D3 or
The large one is 20, the small one's 12.
If D3 is not present, your body cannot absorb minerals. We're people of the sun. We've been listening to these white folks talk about stay out of the sun. It's killing us literally. And it has to be direct sunlight exposure. Just ride in the park, hitting the rays from the window, that's not going to work. Because vitamin D is made in the sweat glands and skin. So it has to be
Oh, that's our cookbook. So it's coming out. But if you're interested in the book, we can keep it.
Yes, that was amazing. Now, I know she's about to come up, but I do want to touch on some of the things that the lovely sister just said, because, dealing with the alkaline, yes, you can go to any pharmacy, CVS, Rite Aid, whatnot, you can buy yourself these pH strips. You can buy a couple of them, you know what I mean? Remember, experimentation will make you become an expert, so you don't just get one, you can get 3 different kinds. You can test all of your waters, right? You can test your urine, you can also test your saliva, just to see, you can also test fruits and other waters. You can test these things to see the pH levels, to answer those questions, because like she also mentioned, the cancer cells, they hate oxygen, right? So it's hypoxia that actually causes, or when the cells are anaerobic, right? Because they don't like oxygen, right? And they're not taking oxygen and whatnot. So when you're eating foods, right, that's causing these things to happen inside your body, that's how you can then produce cancer cells. And also talking about the soil being depleted of its minerals, the NPK, nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus, right? That's in all of the basically commercial soils and whatnot. You want to use carbon-based fertilizers. What you can do is also go to Home Depot, order online a soil tester, or a soil mineral tester. Take the soil in there, spread it, and you can, and it'll show you what minerals is actually in the soil, right? So I told you guys about 5 different kind of tests that you can go out there, look up yourselves, and implement so you can see what's going on for yourselves. And with that being said, do it for yourself. You are what you eat. Don't live to eat. Eat to live, family. Peace, love, and light. Thank y'all.
One more time.